Societal norms often shape our understanding of love, desire, and connection, setting expectations for how we should feel and behave. These pressures can influence our choices, sometimes leading us to question our own emotions or relationships. But what if we paused to look beyond these conventions? By reflecting on our personal experiences, we can begin to see that there is no universal standard for what is right or wrong when it comes to matters of the heart. This perspective invites us to explore our feelings with openness, curiosity, and compassion, free from judgment. It encourages us to consider what truly resonates with us, rather than simply following the path laid out by others. The Bible offers more than a collection of rules and commandments. It presents a profound narrative about energy, flow, and the divine presence within each individual. Throughout its stories and teachings, there is an underlying theme that life itself is animated by a spiritual force, connecting all people to something greater. This divine presence is described as moving through us, inspiring creativity, compassion, and growth. Rather than focusing solely on external regulations, the text invites readers to recognize and nurture this inner connection. By understanding the Bible in this way, its message becomes one of transformation and spiritual vitality, encouraging each person to engage with the world in a meaningful and dynamic way. Consider Adam and Eve not just as figures from ancient stories, but as powerful archetypes representing fundamental energies. Adam embodies the conscious, creative force, an energy that initiates, shapes, and brings ideas into being. Eve, in contrast, symbolizes the nurturing, receptive presence, offering support, growth, and the capacity to receive and transform. Together, they illustrate the dynamic dance of polarity, a balance of opposites that exists both within ourselves and throughout the world. This interplay of creation and receptivity forms the foundation of countless processes, from personal growth to the cycles of nature. By recognizing these archetypes, we gain insight into the harmonious relationships that drive life forward. Within each of us, masculine and feminine energies coexist, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Imagine these energies as a sacred river flowing through your inner landscape. When this river moves freely, it nourishes creativity, balance, and harmony, allowing us to express ourselves authentically. However, when the flow is blocked, perhaps by fear, conditioning, or unresolved experiences, we may feel stagnant, disconnected, or out of sync with ourselves and others. Recognizing the state of this inner river is crucial for personal growth. By honoring and tending to both energies, we can restore the natural flow, fostering a deeper sense of well-being and connection. Desire, as described in the Bible, is often misunderstood. Traditionally, it has been associated with sin or temptation, something to be resisted or avoided. However, a deeper reading reveals that desire can be seen as a divine signal, gently guiding us toward connection and wholeness. Rather than a force that leads us astray, desire may serve as an invitation to pursue meaningful relationships and a fuller sense of self. It reflects our innate longing for unity, purpose, and spiritual fulfillment. By reframing desire in this way, we can begin to appreciate its role in our journey toward a more complete and harmonious life. Desire is often misunderstood, with many people associating it with shame or resistance. These negative perceptions can create internal barriers, preventing the natural flow of energy within us. When we suppress or judge our desires, we inadvertently diminish our sense of vitality and enthusiasm for life. Instead of viewing desire as something to be hidden or resisted, recognizing it as a fundamental part of our human experience can lead to greater self-acceptance. By embracing our desires without judgment, we allow ourselves to experience more vibrancy and fulfillment. Overcoming these common misunderstandings is essential for unlocking a deeper sense of well-being and personal growth. Honoring desire is a spiritual practice that invites us to acknowledge our longings without allowing them to control us. Instead of viewing desire as something dangerous or distracting, we can approach it as a teacher, offering insights into our deeper needs and aspirations. By observing our desires with curiosity and openness, we learn more about ourselves and the motivations that shape our actions. This perspective encourages us to embrace our feelings without judgment, fostering a sense of balance and self-awareness. In doing so, desire becomes a guide on our spiritual journey, helping us grow rather than leading us astray. The concept of the shadow self refers to the hidden or less acknowledged aspects of our personality, traits, desires, or emotions that we might suppress or deny. In biblical context, this idea is often reflected in passages that encourage self-examination and repentance, urging individuals to confront their inner struggles. By recognizing and integrating the shadow self, one can move toward greater self-awareness and spiritual maturity. This process is not about condemnation, but about embracing the fullness of our humanity. As we acknowledge these concealed parts, we open the door to personal growth, healing, and a deeper sense of wholeness. Ultimately, facing the shadow self allows us to live more authentically and align our lives with higher principles. David's journey was marked by an ongoing struggle with his shadow, desires, and failures. Instead of denying these aspects of himself, he chose to face them directly, recognizing that they were integral parts of his experience. Through honest reflection and acceptance, David discovered that his vulnerabilities could become sources of strength. This process allowed him to tap into a deeper sense of purpose and connection. By embracing his imperfections, he found a wellspring of divine energy within, transforming what once felt like burdens into catalysts for growth. Ultimately, David's story illustrates how self-acceptance can lead to profound spiritual awakening. Connection and fellowship are fundamental to the human experience, shaping the way we relate to ourselves and others. True intimacy goes beyond surface-level interactions, emerging as a dynamic energy exchange. When both individuals bring balanced and abundant flows of attention, care, and authenticity, a deeper bond is formed. This mutual exchange fosters trust, understanding, and a sense of belonging. In such relationships, each person feels seen and valued, creating a space where genuine growth and support can flourish. Ultimately, intimacy thrives when both parties are open, present, and willing to share their inner worlds. Pleasure has often been misunderstood, viewed through the lens of fear or shame. Yet biblical wisdom invites us to see pleasure as a celebration of the life given by the divine. The example of Solomon, renowned for his wisdom and appreciation of beauty, reminds us that joy and delight are integral to a life well lived. Rather than something to be hidden or denied, pleasure can be embraced as a reflection of God's generosity and love. By reframing our perspective, we honor the fullness of creation and recognize that experiencing pleasure is part of the spiritual journey. This shift allows us to move beyond guilt, embracing joy as a sacred gift. Pleasure is often misunderstood as a simple sensation, yet it encompasses a rich tapestry of emotional, spiritual, and creative experiences. When we recognize pleasure as multidimensional, we begin to see it as an essential part of our humanity. It serves as a sacred spark within each individual, igniting inspiration, connection, and a sense of fulfillment. Honoring this spark means valuing the diverse ways pleasure manifests in our lives, from moments of joy and artistic expression to spiritual awakening. By embracing pleasure in all its forms, we nurture our well-being and deepen our appreciation for the unique gifts each person carries. Imagine an inner river of energy flowing through you, a dynamic current shaped by your desires, hidden shadows, sources of pleasure, and the connections you form with others. This river is not always calm. It can surge with intensity or slow to a gentle trickle, depending on how these elements interact. Integrating all aspects, embracing both the light and the shadow, creates a more harmonious flow within. Relationships act as tributaries, merging with your own stream and influencing its direction and strength. At any moment, you face a choice: to allow this energy to move freely or to resist and create blockages. Understanding this choice is key to personal growth, as resistance often leads to stagnation, while openness invites vitality and transformation. By visualizing and consciously engaging with this inner river, you can navigate life with greater awareness and authenticity. Recognizing the holiness within every aspect of ourselves invites a profound shift in perspective. Our energy, desires, pleasures, and even the shadowy parts we often hide are all manifestations of the divine. By honoring each of these facets, we move beyond judgment and embrace wholeness. This act of affirmation transforms how we relate to ourselves, fostering acceptance and deeper self-understanding. When we acknowledge the sacredness of our entire being, we unlock the potential for growth and healing. In this way, every part of who we are becomes a source of wisdom and connection to something greater. Take a moment to find a comfortable seat and allow yourself to settle into stillness. With each gentle breath, notice the subtle flow of energy moving through your body. As you sit quietly, you may begin to sense a deepening connection to yourself and the world around you. This simple practice opens the door to harmony and invites a sense of peace. Over time, such moments of mindful presence can lead to a profound experience of joy and a feeling of unity with something greater. Let this be the beginning of your journey toward balance and divine fulfillment. In the end, life, desire, intimacy, and pleasure are all expressions of energy flowing through us. When we recognize and honor this energy, we invite a sense of wholeness and fulfillment into our lives. Embracing these aspects without shame or restraint allows us to experience deeper connections with ourselves and others. By treating this energy with reverence, we cultivate a more meaningful and sacred existence. Ultimately, honoring the vitality within us is a pathway to living fully and authentically.